Alright, Old Gaming Guru here with my Marksman Bleed Poison old school build. This is like back from the early days of when the game first came out here in Last Epoch. It's a great game. It's only gotten better with time. And this is a game where the developers really listen to players and value their time and their money. And so before I jump in, let me turn down that sound a little bit. I noticed it was a little bit high compared to my voice. So I'm going to jump into settings here real quick. And let's turn our master volume down a little bit so my voice carries through. Not like you guys really care. But anyways, let me just show you my update on this build. So let's go jump into, this is non-corruption still. And let's go do a quick node. Alright, so pros of this build. It takes down bosses fairly quickly. It's a little slower on packs, but basically in terms of damage output, I would say it's a B right now. I need a better bow. I need some better gear. I'm really dumping a lot into damage over time. I'm not trying to use this as a crit build at all, so I just basically want poison and bleed damage to take enemies down. Alright, so we start off with using puncture, and you can see here acid flask becomes very important, and my shift ability throws 2 acid flasks. But thanks to Elicos, I've got a ton more damage, and I'm using the armor right now. I may add the belt. I just got a 1 drop on that LP 1 drop, so I may use the belt in conjunction with this. But what you can see, the power of Elicos is not the ward when you gain a shadow, but when you throw a flask, you get an additional flask that does 146% more damage. You get +2 to throwing attacks, increased area, all resistances up 16, which is awesome, 8% movement speed, and 1% or 1 to potion slots. Okay, so I'm going to need to have lots of potions, and to do this, basically, really quickly, I just happen to have Communion of the Erased, which gives me more potions for every single erased item I'm wearing. And I've got 2 of these right now. I could go as high as 4, but I think my rings now, a better investment is, without getting a really good erased ring, is better spent on just using a really good purple. Alright, so let's just go ahead and see how this guy does. And you see here, we throw those flasks, and boom, down he goes. Okay, so I mean, it's not as fast clearing as my Void Knights. As you can see here with the amount of dodge I've got. Okay, so I'm throwing lots of potions here, so we're gonna have to seriously get some. Alright, this guy's taking too long, so now I'm going to put down my... Alright, so you can see here, that was a pretty tough boss. I don't know why he took as long as he did. But we just used basically puncture to clear trash mobs. And by the way, when I run out of potions, I do not necessarily lose my ability to throw acid flask. I just lose my double damage flasks. See here, I'm going to need a heck of a lot more damage. If I go ahead and throw down my decoy, I throw down my decoy and my smoke. That's going to put a lot of armor shred into the mix and boost my damage. The armor shred helps, of course, with the bleed damage. So, and man, it's giving me lots of little mini bosses here on this one. Okay, so we just keep dropping flasks, find potions where they drop, kill stuff. Pretty easy. Okay, so let's continue on our way here and see if we can get this particular node done. Alright. You notice I'm getting lots of potion drops, which is just amazing. Alright. One thing I care about is health pots. Shift to make sure we've got a really good set of potions up. Okay, let's go ahead and throw down some debuffs. You can see this guy nowhere near as strong as what my Void Knights are. In terms of clear, okay, I'm getting some potions back. But Acid Flask is really your main damage here. So we get 2 Acid Flasks on this guy. Boom, he drops. Okay. You know, I would not recommend this as a leak start. This is definitely now much more of a twink character. You play this guy after you've got a bunch of gear floating around. Because you can see here, he's got some deficits here to make up in damage. Those Rune Wardens were turning out to be pretty tough. Gotta come up with a bit better loot filter.
Not happening.
I mean, he's not horrible. There we go, Echo Conquer. Alright.
Not happening.
High dodge is my main defense. And that's basically the play style. So you're gonna have to get used to the fact he doesn't stand toe to toe very good. And he definitely has got some things I need to work on with. You would definitely want to try and bookend those bosses with your shift acid flask throw. Alright, so I mean that gives you a good idea on how this guy plays. Oh.
Not happening.
Okay, we're out of normal flasks again. But I mean, this guy is smooth enough you know, like I said, with a little bit better gear, he'd be awesome. But right now, I'd give this character probably a B tier for damage versus survivability, maybe even a C. But I wanted just to try him because this brings back so many fond memories of this game and its start. But anyways, there's the character. And let's take a quick look at how he operates. Let's grab my loot. Alright, how does this guy work? Let's go to C to start off with. Okay, so you can see here resistance is capped first. Always do this, it's not that hard. Just cap your resistances or have something that gets your resistances above 75%. No sense playing the game at a disadvantage. Okay, so we want to get our movement speed up. We're going to actually use that to increase the amount of dot damage we do. And I'll show you here in a moment where that's at. Got to bring up your dexterity a little bit, get you more dodge. Right now my dodge is at 55%. That is my main defense. Okay, so going down, we want to get bow attack speed up. It's not that high yet, so it's got to go up a bit. Coming down, fairly nothing in crit. The bow that I have adds the additional 3%. So what we're looking for is not crit, but dot damage. And you see here we got poison penetration, increased poison damage, and we should have, where's bleed? Where's bleed? Okay. Anyways, and that would be increased physical damage. Okay, I've got bow damage here, which is okay. It just adds to the overall damage per second of puncture, but it's not really what's doing the killing, it's the dots. Or at least it should be. Right now I'm still feeling like the bow is actually killing, not the dots, so we're going to have to work on that. So we want physical penetration for the bleeds to actually take effect. So physical penetration, poison penetration will help you clear much faster. Right now we've got 91% critical strike avoidance. That needs to get worked on, and a 21% chance to get a glancing blow. Very, very critical. Our endurance sucks. Alright, so our defenses aren't that great. We got to work on that as I move towards doing corrupted timelines. Okay, so there's the stats, and skills are all pretty easy. We got puncture here. Puncture we want to pick up, increased chance to bleed, and larger area damage, and a chance to poison, and most importantly, grab a facious toxin. Okay, the rest of the stuff over here, you can do what you want. I picked up Blinding Fury because it increases my chance to bleed. Acid Flask, your main killer. Go over and grab a facious toxin again. Both of these will increase the amount of dot damage you're doing. And then, you know, what I picked up over here was additional chance to poison. Less mana, slow on hit, damage in a larger area. So go over here, grab these. Then just pick up over here what you want. Alright, shift gives us acid flask, so what we want to get is drop an acid flask on arrival and departure, and it should be enough that they overlap so that if you shift away from something, it has to move through a poison field to get to you. We also pick up some additional dodge after we shift, movement speed, some mana recovery, some health recovery, and shift will automatically heal me if I'm below 50% health. Shorter cooldown, and that really isn't necessary, but it's there. Oh well. Okay, so then Smoke Bomb. What we want to get out of Smoke Bomb here is a long-lasting cloud that shreds armor, covers a larger area, and applies frailty to enemies. Also gives you Silver Shroud and cleanses negative ailments. So Smoke Bomb, definitely want to pick up Cleansing Storm. The rest you can basically decide what buffs you want. But I added Dust Shroud and Silver Shroud for increased defensive capabilities. Alright, Decoy. Decoy, we went for Armor Shred and also to Haste. Coming back over, we then picked up increased damage on explosions. So that's our skill tree. The way I've got them on my bar here is I always put my movement speed first, or movement skill first. I've got my damage flask here, or totems, where I put my totems, and then my buffs usually go after that. So we've got smoke bomb and decoy. All right, the trees. Okay, pretty standard. Rogue, we want to pick up decks, so I really need to grab some more decks. I picked up increased evasion rating, haste, and glancing blow on hit. All right, and Marksman, you ready? We're basically getting health back on every time we hit something. That is huge, okay? That and another node actually picks up like 56 health on every bow hit. That basically does a lot of great healing while you are firing into large packs. Additional dexterity, reduced dodge of bosses. Bow damage and armor shred is what I'm grabbing. I did grab concentration just for that, and also the increased dodge speed. Is additional points worth it? Nah, not in my mind. All right, increased physical damage, bleed on bow hit, physical resistance shred chance right there. Arrow Storm I picked up for just the ability to proc Arrow Storm, which doesn't happen very often. But for 6 points right now, it gives me an extra source of basically poison and bleed that I put onto creatures I hit. We are going to get all the poison penetration we can get. That'll help also Acid Flask. And then I get Sharpshooter, because it increases our bow damage by quite a bit, and it lasts 8 seconds. Okay, so we also get more shred armor over here, and the rain of arrows is going to come out of our Arrow Storm. And the 2 end games here are pretty much optional. I can't see taking them for any reason. So that'll finish that, and then I'm going to go over and pick up a couple here of Glancing Blow additions to round this guy out on defenses. So I'll probably grab this. I grab Flow just because it does increase my damage overall, but it doesn't really bring much more to the table, okay, because I don't want critical strike multiplier. All right, and so we don't need any of these. I just want to be able to generate flow. Okay, so I'll pick up all of that. And will I pick up anything more in Blade Dancer? It's looking right now like I'm not going to. So that will then finish off this character. So there's my update for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Old Gaming Guru out. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video useful. Thank you.